First, I would like to thank Dr. Wallenkamp for the invitation to speak with you all today on the occasion of your very important conference on university-wide internationalization. Second, I'd like to applaud you all for your presence today and for your involvement in the internationalization of the Hague University of Applied Sciences. This process is certainly not implemented by a singular person, but rather through the participation of many advocates of internationalization throughout the campus. There are undoubtedly many pluses that you are starting with in the internationalization of your university. First, I understand that your president and board members are interested in internationalization. This support, of course, is critical. Second, I understand there is support and interest among the faculty in each and every school at the university, and that substantial funding has been allocated throughout the central budget to support the implementation of internationalization over the next few years. Third, I understand that you have a university-wide internationalization plan and that each of the schools has written their own goals for internationalization. All of these components are significantly useful, as with support of senior institutional leaders, faculty interest spread throughout the university, the allocation of substantial financial resources, and written internationalization plans at the university and individual school levels, you are well positioned to comprehensively internationalize the Hague University of Applied Sciences. However, two questions remain as I see it and based on my communications with Dr. Wallenkamp. They are as follows. First, how can faculty members at the Hague University of Applied Sciences become equipped to develop students' international competencies? Second, how can faculty and administrators who are already internationalization advocates get other key stakeholders on board? I will do my best in this keynote presentation to address these two critical questions. Let's begin with the first question. How can faculty become equipped to develop students' international competencies? To internationalize their pedagogies and syllabi, faculty need infrastructural support, such as sufficient time and financial resources. My research, administrative, and consulting work has indicated that infrastructural support can take four different forms. First, faculty seminars. Second, differential investments. Third, strategic use of electronic communication channels. And fourth, the customization of internationalization goals to unique disciplines. Let's walk through each of these four avenues through which to support faculty in developing students' international competencies. First, faculty seminars. Seminars provide useful forums for faculty to explore international dimensions in their teaching. To develop students' international competencies, it's first necessary to enhance faculty members' international expertise and experiences. Here are a few suggestions of different ways to offer interdisciplinary seminars for faculty. One is interdisciplinary semester-long on-campus seminars with teaching release time provided, which offer a forum for faculty to discuss particular international topics with colleagues. Another model is to offer a faculty seminar abroad program to create opportunities for faculty to gain interdisciplinary knowledge about a country for approximately 2 to 3 weeks over the summertime. Out of both of these different kinds of seminars, faculty can develop, first, critical knowledge, second, networks, and third, motivation to internationalize their pedagogies and syllabi. Differential investment. A second avenue through which to support faculty in developing students' international competencies is through what I call differential investment. Differential investment refers to the process of allocating special funds at various institutional levels for initiatives that promote strategic plan priorities. For example, curriculum internationalization grants can encourage faculty to develop new courses with international content and to infuse international perspectives into existing courses. For instance, at one university, a law professor received a curriculum internationalization grant to create an international intellectual property course, and a psychology professor received a grant to create a cross-cultural psychopathology course. Although awards may not be given to all faculty who apply for these grants, the program has the potential to create widespread faculty engagement in internationalizing the curriculum, as all faculty develop foundations for internationalizing their courses simply through the grant application. Strategic use of electronic communication channels. A third avenue through which to support faculty in developing students' international competencies is through the strategic use of electronic communication channels. It's useful for the university's Central International Education Office to strategically use these channels, which can in turn encourage faculty to internationalize their curricula. These channels can include an international faculty database, international faculty blogs, electronic examples of international syllabi, a faculty internationalization survey, and even a global education radio program on which faculty, students, administrators, alumni, and friends of the university who've been successful in developing internationalization and global competencies can be interviewed about their experiences. Given many professors frequent use of electronic media, by creating a centralized electronic gateway, the university's International Education Office can A, share international teaching resources with faculty, and B, collect information about faculty members' areas of international expertise and interests. Customizing internationalization goals to the disciplines. A fourth avenue through which to support faculty in developing students' international competencies is through customizing internationalization goals to each discipline. Customization emphasizes the importance of adapting a university's internationalization goals to unique disciplinary priorities. If internationalization is listed as a priority in your university-wide strategic plan, it is useful for your president to ask each school to add internationalization as a priority to their school-wide strategic plan, which it sounds like you have done at the Hague University of Applied Sciences. By customizing the internationalization plans to each school or department, connections between disciplinary priorities and internationalization are made explicit, which thereby prompts faculty involvement. So you are well poised to advance your university towards developing comprehensive internationalization. So what are my recommendations to further advance this process? If you seek to encourage faculty at the Hague University of Applied Sciences to internationalize their curricula, I recommend that you examine the infrastructure in place to support faculty. In addition to the points I have previously discussed, the following recommendations may be useful. First, consider how is excellence in teaching defined at the Hague University of Applied Sciences? Is it defined? If so, is the incorporation of global perspectives included in this definition? If not, could it be? My research has indicated that in order to see real changes in faculty members' motivation to internationalize their curricula, the incorporation of global perspectives in tenure and promotion policies' definition of excellence in teaching is highly useful. Second, if faculty programs, such as faculty seminars, curriculum internationalization grants, and overseas teaching opportunities are offered, are deliverables, such as requirements for faculty participation in these programs. I pose this question because my research has indicated that the incorporation of deliverables, such as producing internationalized syllabus, as a requirement of participation in an international faculty seminar or program builds in a structural mechanism to ensure that faculty translate international knowledge they gained through this program back into their teaching on campus. This now brings me to my model of faculty engagement in internationalization. For all of you who are present at this conference today, who are interested in internationalizing the Hague University of Applied Sciences, it might be useful for you to consider a model I have developed, which is called the 5 I's of Faculty Engagement Internationalization. Through this model, I demonstrate how universities can strategically engage faculty in internationalizing their curricula by integrating the following 5 key components: intentionality, investments, infrastructure, institutional networks, and individual support. In a nutshell, to internationalize your curriculum, I recommend that the faculty and administrative leaders at the Hague University of Applied Sciences first intentionally articulate your goals for faculty involvement. Second, make long-term investments to provide resources targeted to support faculty in these endeavors. Third, develop infrastructure to create foundational programmatic support. Fourth, streamline institutional networks to enable faculty to gain awareness of these international teaching opportunities and resources. And fifth, and finally, provide support for individual faculty to connect international issues with their unique scholarly agendas. It is also useful to keep in mind that internationalization incorporates not only teaching, but research and service. Faculty members' international teaching, research, and service can take place in 3 different locations: on campus, off campus locally, and off campus internationally. To help universities ensure that they are comprehensively offering support for faculty to engage in international efforts, I offer a second model, which I call a typology of strategies for faculty engagement in internationalization, which you can read more about on pages 143 to 148 of my book. I will now walk through this typology with you to illustrate how international teaching can take place in 3 different places. As I mentioned, on campus, off campus locally, and off campus internationally, and how the same can be said of international research and international service. First, international teaching support on campus. It can include, for example, curriculum internationalization grants to encourage faculty to develop new courses and revise existing courses to integrate international perspectives into these syllabi for the courses that take place on campus. Second, international research support on campus can include, for example, interdisciplinary and international faculty seminars on campus, for which faculty are provided teaching release time in order to develop their international research partnerships with a colleague from a different discipline. Third, international service support on campus can include, for example, opportunities for faculty to serve as study abroad and international service project advisors for students. Through such international service on campus, faculty can increase their international communication with students during their classroom and co-curricular experiences. Fourth, international teaching support off campus locally can include, for example, participation in international teaching workshops with colleagues at neighboring universities. So colleagues across universities can share strategies on how to incorporate their international experiences and backgrounds into their teaching. Fifth, international research support off campus locally, for example, can include opportunities for faculty to develop research partnerships with colleagues at neighboring universities who have similar disciplinary and geographic interests, such as Latin America, Asia, Africa, etc. International service support off campus locally can include, for example, opportunities for faculty to participate in cross-cultural service projects in the local and regional communities. For instance, the university could provide faculty with a grant to develop a program to integrate immigrants into the local community. Seventh, teaching support internationally can include, for example, opportunities for faculty to teach at institutions in different countries with deliverables included, as we discussed earlier, such as requirement upon their return to the home campus to integrate their international experiences and knowledge gained into their syllabi and/or research projects back on campus. Eighth, research support internationally can include, for example, support for faculty to develop research partnerships with colleagues in different countries, such as through faculty seminars abroad, which we discussed, in which faculty interact with academic colleagues, government officials, or business professionals overseas. Ninth, and finally, service support internationally can include, for example, opportunities for faculty to participate in service projects in different countries, through which they can offer their expertise on pro bono projects in developing nations. For instance, at one university, medical and science faculty participated in a service project in Africa where they trained local surgeons on using new equipment for brain and spinal procedures. All in all, this typology for strategies for faculty engagement in internationalization reminds us that international teaching, research, and service can take place in 3 different locations: on campus, off campus locally, or off campus internationally. So therefore there are in fact 9 different types of strategies to increase faculty involvement in the internationalization of the Hague University of Applied Sciences. The second question I mentioned at the beginning of this address is, how can faculty and administrators who are already internationalization advocates get other key stakeholders on board? The answer, I believe, is through the following 3 points. First, demonstrate how internationalization connects to and advances each discipline. Internationalization takes place at the disciplinary level, and faculty are likely to participate in the goals and the directions of their own discipline. Second, demonstrate how the responsibility for funding internationalization can be spread throughout the institution and developed through a variety of sources. As we discussed briefly, and I explain in depth in my book, through differential investment, funding resources can be allocated in various types, increments, and locations throughout the university in order to develop the engagement of key stakeholders. Further, it's useful to assess if there might be additional sources of national, local, private, alumni, or other institutional funds that could be solicited to spread the responsibility for funding faculty involvement in international teaching, research, and service. Third, demonstrate how internationalization furthers excellence in teaching and research, as faculty and administrators will likely jump on board to participate in discussions of how to define these concepts at their university in order to advance their own agendas and the agenda of the university as a whole. You might want to consider asking your president to create a President's Council on international research and teaching in order to empower faculty to create such definitions and adjustments in the tenure and promotion policies. All in all, in order to internationalize the Hague University of Applied Sciences and to equip faculty to develop students' international competencies and get other key stakeholders on board with internationalization, I will offer the following recommendations. Allocate targeted resources at various institutional levels, such as through the President's Office, international study centers, and individual schools, in order to increase the likelihood of developing widespread faculty engagement in international scholarship. Second, offer faculty seminars to promote the development of cognitive skills, awareness, and the transformation which is necessary for faculty to become champions and advocates for the internationalization of the Hague University of Applied Sciences. Since internationalization has been developed at your university, it would be useful for senior administrative leaders to charge a high-level interdisciplinary group of faculty and administrators with the authority and resources to oversee the implementation of this internationalization plan. Fifth, consider incorporating global perspectives into tenure and promotion policy's definition of excellence in scholarship to promote further faculty engagement in international teaching and research. And sixth, link internationalization with distinct disciplinary priorities at each department and school. In conclusion, it is very important to provide opportunities for faculty to develop the awareness of, capacity for, and community around internationalizing their teaching, research, and service, both off campus and on campus. Faculty need the inclination as well as the skills and knowledge to internationalize their scholarship. To do so, faculty need to engage in a lively exchange to connect the disciplinary topics they care about with their institution's internationalization agenda. In particular, interdisciplinary seminars can provide structured opportunities for faculty to cross disciplinary boundaries and in so doing open their eyes to the benefits of crossing national and cultural boundaries in their scholarship. Through such collaborative efforts at various institutional levels, the Hague University of Applied Sciences can indeed support faculty to internationalize their curricula, their pedagogy, and their research through creating alliances and marshaling resources to facilitate faculty involvement. Ultimately, the 5 I's of faculty engagement and the typology for faculty engagement internationalization present a compass that can guide the involvement of your faculty so that your internationalization plans are not confined to bookshelves or filing cabinets, but rather infiltrate your classrooms and your research agendas and thereby broaden the international understanding of all your students and faculty. Thank you so much for your time and attention today.